I think another factor we have to look at is that the older generation is to blame for this, because having access to technology, they did not take the time to influence the younger generation correctly. Nowadays, we are seeing a lot of younger people being more aware, right? So the reason why they message you is because they're aware of their feelings. So what I realized, Gen Z has a lot of awareness because they're always on their phone, they're always consuming content. So if the content out there is good, like yours, that's why I think we need more people like that, right? They start questioning themselves, right? Okay, why am I not going to the gym? Okay, this guy is telling me he's got everything in order, like Top G, for example, like you mentioned. He's got everything in order. I want to be like him. There's not enough people using technology, older people, to influence the younger generation correctly. Because we cannot, for me, it's hard to, I'm not saying you're blaming them or anything, it's just from my perspective. Because a lot of us would sit down there and start, being like, okay, 12-year-old is suicidal or this or that. Why? What's the reason? Who are the ones who are creating this content online? What type of content is being pushed? So I feel like we need to be more responsible, especially the ones who are running these platforms maybe, or the ones who create content for their own gain. Because a lot of, in today's world, right? When you look at Instagram and TikTok, okay, everybody wants to be inspirational, okay? Let's be honest. We want to be inspirational, you want to be inspirational, we want to be there because it has something for us as well, because we are selfish, right? We're selfish, that's why we do that, and it's not a bad thing, right? And then, a lot of these guys end up following the wrong role model. So it starts from the family, I guess, from the parents, and then not monitoring them correctly or not instilling the right values into their children, because everyone's so busy working, trying to make a life, right? Because life is hard right now, right? It's harder than ever for the ones who are trying to make it. It's hard because you have everything is going up in price, inflation and everything. Everybody has to work in a household. So the child is kind of clueless at times.
Yeah, I agree with that because like you said, we should be a bit responsible for it, like teach our children, like maybe you can take what is good out of that content. If something that is like sit beside them, if he's watching, let's say, Top G all the time, if the videos are, because it's on TikTok all day, right?
Yeah.
I see it, probably everybody sees it. So if I see it, the kid is gonna see it too, right? Let's say if the 14-year-old is watching these videos, the father can sit down or the mother can sit down and then be like, take the good thing. Yes, discipline is good. Yes, going to the gym is good. Yes, having emotional intelligence, being able to control your emotions, all these things will help you become a better man, taking care of the woman, all these things, right? And then making sure that they know what are jokes, what are not jokes, right? Because these things can be taken out of context and easily consumed by children, right? So I completely get his point. Yeah, but let's go back to your coaching life. Now the problem we saw was for kids, right? So let's say people who are older, 13 above. Is really the main concern is achieving something?
I think for now, if I were to look at all the people who approach me because they see my content, that's about 200 to 300 messages every day in my inbox.
Yeah.
I can safely say 90% of the problem that they want me to support them with is finances. Now, when we are there, coaching conversation, 100% of the problem is never about the finance, but it's about the way they think, okay? But most probably, I can safely say 90% is that a lot of people go through life with emotional pain, emotional baggages. More than that, traumas we, receive as a little child, as a teenager, as an adult, that we carry, that we tend to set aside because we need to create money, we need to earn money, we need to make a living. And that is set aside right now. And the more people run after money, the more they're unhappy. It's simply because there's too much things that was disregarded. And I would always say that the emotion of humanity right now is disregarded simply because we have to do this, we need to do this. It's all about making a living more than just living a life wherein it has to be happy, peaceful, and content.
Okay, let's talk about that. So how do you process that? Let's say as a young guy, or me right now, I'm 33 years old and I have some emotional issues or trauma or stuff like that. I want to hear it from you. How do you, what advice do you give to someone who wants to process?
Or what are the steps?
Okay.
What's the first step?
As a life coach, I never give advice. That's a no-no. The steps, the process is number one, that you will have to bring the person into a certain level of awareness that whatever trouble you have right now in your life, this is not about what the eyes can see, but it's what's behind it. Okay? And the most important of what's behind it is I am responsible for all the failures I make. I am responsible for all the success I make. So if that is your come from right now, that I am responsible for everything that's going on in my life, therefore, if you're not solving your own problem, knowing that you are the solution to your problem, people go sorts into drama, justification, excuses, and they will still believe their BS that they want to blame everyone.
That's so true.
Except themselves.
Yeah.
So the awareness here is that as a coach, hey, thank you for sharing, and what do you want out of this story? And most of the time, 100% of the time, they say, oh, because of mommy, because of daddy, because of my boss, because of my ex, okay, stop it. They're not here. Let's talk about what do you want, right? Now they know, okay, I want to be better at this. Okay. And the only solution there is to take responsibility of what had happened in the past, that you can maybe start saying, okay, acceptance of the past, that you cannot undo whatever happened in the past. If it's people that's hurting you, compassion. Especially parents, they don't know, they only know how to raise you the best way they know how. Okay? And then if it's really painful, then forgiveness. So again, all of the things that is solving my problem, solving humanity problem, is what I decide upon by embracing all of these success qualities. But above all, after forgiveness, is take responsibility. You can no longer blame them. So again, it's all about bringing them to a certain level of awareness that you are responsible for your life. Number two, if you want to take responsibility, take action around it, then that's what we call hold yourself accountable. And the change, the solution will come with a new choice. So maybe if it's finances, the new choice of stop blaming your boss, the economy, the country. Start choosing to be responsible and be the best of where you are. Because in the end, this is what I believe. No, if where you are is where you are right now and you're giving your best, you're adding value, I mean, people around you will pay you the amount of the money that you want to earn, and if not, somebody else will.
Right.
And that's, I should say, the best solution for everyone who's having challenges in terms of their finances.
Okay. You mentioned ego a while ago. I want to go back to that. So what's the fine line? Is it bad to have ego? Is it good to have ego? Does it depend on the situation? Is it totally bad? What?
Okay,
in your perspective,
ego is normal. Except that when I am not aware that I am on my ego mode and I keep on doing that, it keep on pushing me. Ego is actually telling you to push hard, to push further, be attached. And it's taking you away from your peace of mind. It's taking you away from happiness. It's taking you away from living a life simply because you're always running after the things that you are not in full control of. So I'm not saying it's good or bad, right or wrong. What I'm saying here is just be aware, okay, that yeah, I am on my ego mode, and I am letting this go if it's no longer working. So I would always say that ego would always, strike separation. I'm better than you, you're better than me. Wanting for more, wanting for achievement. Again, nothing wrong, except that when you live your life all about achievement, all about wanting more, you tend to forget, I think, the most important part of life, which is really just enjoying life, really just being in a space of peace and happiness and joy.
So, okay, so let's say, how do you build the base level of a strong mindset? Like for me or for Sam, it was going to the gym.
Okay.
Right? Because we learned a lot. I learned a lot that, okay, if I go to the gym, because it's not
Early age.
one day, right? It's consistency
Nice.
through the years, right? So you get to be patient. You get to commit to something.
Yep.
Right? And then you learn that and then you apply it on your life. Right? That was the base level how I was like, okay, patience, hard work, consistency.
Yep.
I will get results eventually, right? But then how do you start it with not going this route? Right?
Nice. You agreed me that every single thing that's going on in our lives starts with the way we think.
True.
Right.
Yeah.
And the way we think affects the way we feel. And the way we feel affects the way we behave. And the way we behave will actually ultimately create the result that we want. So physically, we have a gym. Okay? Emotionally, I don't know where to go to train my heart to be happy and excited. However, mentally, the only gym that was introduced to the world was school. No, I have nothing against school except that I just feel that whatever that I learned from school was never about having a great life, but was just to follow instruction, behave, sit up straight, but it was never about living life. So the most important mental gym that I would always say is get yourself into a certain level of personal growth and development. So which means spend an hour a day, which I did for the past 20 years, to learn something new. I devour all, the personal development programs that every day up until now at 52 or 53. So that now creates a new mindset for me. However, if I want to speed up my process, what does it mean? Okay, in the personal development, we all were wired up to train about goal setting, which is actually just on the surface. We call it the conscious mind. Okay, and the way we change our behavior is working on your subconscious, which is your new programming. Okay, that takes very long. But if I really want and I'm serious about going to the gym so that I can have peace of mind, I can have happiness, whether I have something that I want or I don't get what I want, I'm still at peace. Only one. It's called meditation.
Meditation, yeah.
Okay, let's get into meditation.
Yo!
Meditation.
We love meditating.
So
yeah.
we love talking about this topic because personally, me and Tohid, we've been living on our own. I was 16, you were 13, 14. So,
Okay.
living by yourself without your parents, being totally independent, forcing to be totally independent from an early age, right? Experiencing all the stuff in life. And let's be honest, it's not all rainbows and butterflies, right? There's a lot of things that happen that don't go your way, and you don't have the emotional maturity to deal with it, right? So the trauma, like you said, or the insecurities build up, right, at some point. And then what we found out is that I think we started meditating when? 20?
Wow.
20,
Probably.
21, 22.
I think you started earlier than me. Me around that age, 22, 23. You were 25.
22, you were 18, but then after when you reached 20s, you started meditating too. And then this helped us really process everything that is going on in our life, become more aware and more at peace with everything that is happening in our environment, surrounding, with the people and everything, and starting to become more responsible, right? So it had a profound effect on our life. And yeah, let's talk about it from your
Yeah,
perspective,
but
your
let me
experience.
let me first give you feedback. I believe you because the moment I entered this space, I feel at peace right away. The first time, you had nothing except kindness.
Thank you so much.
You
Yeah.
had nothing except compassion.
Thank you so
And
much.
that's where you see a person who is at peace with himself, okay, and still creating a lot of impact in other way, shape, or form is simply a source of the abundance of life.